Stomp Strong Show, episode 19.
Yes.
We made it through another week, and I tell you what, my weeks are going by really fast.
Right. Yeah.
Today I was absolutely. Beth is like, "Are you guys gonna podcast?" And I go, "I don't know. I haven't talked to him, and I didn't even bring it up because I wanted to go watch the guys ride at the graveyard."
Yeah.
And you know, I've been to the graveyard. I think maybe 15 times, and I tried to tell you about it, and you've seen pictures.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do it justice. It's this massive dirt complex of jumps that they've built here in Shirts. And these local guys build it. And every time I go there, they're building. And then I was there yesterday, and he told me we're riding at 2 Sunday. I go up, I show up at 4. Figure give them a couple hours to warm up, get it going. Dude, people had camped out overnight from like Austin, from Houston. Everyone came from all over to ride the track. It was open now.
Sure.
So essentially the word got out. It was full of riders. There was maybe like 8 riders. And these guys were launching off like 20-foot lips. I mean, skying into the trees. I mean, so crazy. The first time I saw it, my breath dropped. Like the excitement. I almost like started shaking a little bit. I was like, whoa. They're hitting it at like, they must be hitting these jumps at like 25, 30 miles an hour. I mean, they're just screaming into the air at 30 feet. Into the trees. They're hitting the trees sometimes as like a badge of honor. Yeah. Like if they're smacking a branch.
No kidding.
And then they're like going up, we gotta, dude, it's crazy. So then people start crossing up and they start doing tricks. I'm there for like 5 minutes and I start asking questions like, is there something I shouldn't be doing? Because you guys are making noises and shit. I don't want to fucking throw these guys off. The concentration levels are minute. They're hitting jumps that are 20 feet high at 30 miles an hour, and they're launching into the air in an arc, and they know they're going to come down, and there's 30 of these jumps. 30 of them. So I mean, dude, so I start thinking, I'm filming. Where do these dudes land? Am I in the wrong spot? One guy's like, you might want to give him a run out if... Boom, a dude wipes out. He launches off the thing. He's 30 feet in the air and he loses his bike. And the bike is... He comes straight down. Fuck! Saad, he wrecks so hard, dude. I'm like, whoa! Yeah. This is 5 feet away from me. I got it all on film. He slides out, gets up and goes, oh shit, blah, blah, blah. Wow. And I go... Holy fuck, dude, that was some real Evil Knievel shit. Yeah. I remember saying some shit exactly like that. I was like, whoa, whoa, you're just walking away from it. Yeah. He grabs his bike, you know.
You might have to explain who Evil Knievel was to the kid.
Dude, I just seen some stuff. I was telling a Kemi's my riding buddy, I was like, I would pay money to watch an event like this. Anytime it came up. Like a demo. Any of these bike demos, like I'm into it now or something. I'm just so amazed. And I was right on it, dude. So I was as close to that door as these guys landing. So 15 feet away, just whoosh. I mean, super speed. Made me really happy to understand what real motivation in life is. These guys are never gonna have that feeling again. They're and some of them are 40, and you know that they just camped overnight. And stayed, and they have like a Nova, like not even a Nova. We'll say the most bullshit car, but their bike is sick. Their back hub is sick. They're battle worn. They're ready. They're spending the night on the ground to do this. They've been thinking about it all. They come from Houston. They came from Austin. It's crazy. But then you see the other side of it, right? Because one of them's talking about I can't even ride right now, and I'm like, what? I'm under a line. He's like, man, we partied too long. Drank till 6 in the morning. I can't even ride right now. And I'm going as an alcoholic going. I remember those days. He came from Austin, spent the night, got too crazy, can't ride because he's all off now. And you can't launch these fucking things unless you're on. But then some of them would go and have like a beer about every 6 rides. They would launch the line 6 times and then grab a beer, smoke it down, and then go launch. And I think they do it to keep their nerves.
Maybe.
So it's like a beer, like I was there for 3 hours and one guy had like 2 beers, but he rode the whole time. You know, and I'm like, whoa, man, what's he doing, man? Like, why would you do that? And I'm thinking, so there's different levels, right? Right. And they're, you know, people bringing their dogs, and my day was crazy, dude. So that was just a little 2 hours. The first, I've been doing 2 rides a day since Friday. I've gotten like 30 miles in 2 days. My bike just got back. Right. So I haven't been riding for weeks. And I was jonesing bad. I bought the exercise bike, and the exercise bike, I think, put me in a position where I can do more now. So you buy something for a trainer, and it turns out to be harder than really riding a bike. Sure. So the Echo bike is harder than riding a bike on the street. It's not harder than trail riding, but it's harder than riding on the street. So I got on the street and did 20 the other day. It was all, I can go to your house easy now. I no problem. So next USC I'll be riding. Nice. And went around, and then I went to the old man's place today, the old property. And not only did I ride out to the old man's place, but we tracked and gridded off the whole, at least 100, I think it's more like 300 acres. 100 is his back problem, his back area, but the whole thing goes all the way up into Universal, up to the power lines. Now, me and Beth routed it out 2 days before, because I did it on my bike, to see if I could find the back way into his property, and I couldn't find it. And then we came by in the cars and looked at these real nice houses out there, and they butt up to the power lines, and I go, Beth, pay attention to the power lines. And I found them power lines today, the other side up the hill. We went 1,000 yards up a hill today. I hiked like a hill. Couldn't ride the bike.
So Beth was on a bike too?
No, this is me and Kemi. But Beth and me were in the car yesterday, scouting it out from the neighborhood.
Oh, okay, cool.
We rode the bikes today, me and Kemi, all the way up the hill to the houses from behind on the guy's property, and saw the whole area looking for the bunker. Couldn't find the bunker. Right. But we did travel though and transverse the whole property, went back and looked at his stuff, filmed a little bit. Kind of a fascinating place. Went down and went to the corral area where he had the pens, and then there was a gate going down to the river, to the creek, right? Ride the bike down into that, walk down into the creek, get caught up in some barbed wire. That's a bad deal on a bike. Sure. I get caught up a little bit, get the bike off it, I get off it, tangled up a little bit, I'm bleeding a little bit. I look over to the right, and there's a well. It's like this big, like handmade, and it goes down. And then the creek's only like 50 yards away here, and it's full. And then there's a well dug down pretty deep enough that it's still full of water, and a pipe going to the dude's property from the creek. So he's getting all his irrigation for his cows and all the land animals. He had a bunch of pens up there. So he was running like whatever he had up there for stables. He was feeding it all from the creek, direct feed. It was like a bobber tank that would never, and it's still running 12 years later. No one's maintaining that. Right. How sick is that? So I found wells and stuff today, and went and saw the guy's stuff. So I did like 10 miles a day, 20 miles yesterday, just exploring everything I can. Back on the bike, super happy about that. Very cool. And, you know, just really enjoying myself. The bike went down. I got super mad about that. And I was pissed off about, you know, you spend a couple thousand on something, you think it's going to work, right? And you destroy it in 3 months. And then the bike shop basically tells you that's normal. And you go, what? Right. Well, hold on. Well, they'll warranty it. But they put subpar parts some places. And you're thinking, what? So then I break the hub. They can't warranty it because Giant shut down, so I can't get nothing. I start trying to source a hub everywhere. I can't do it. The bike shop can't do it. Eventually keep trying to source it. Find the parts. Have them sent in to me. After I spend, no shit, $850 on parts for one rear wheel. This is not the tire. Right. This is everything including. They have to build it from scratch. He only charged me $50 labor, so it was like $900 total. But the bike is running sick. Nice. So it's crazy. I was so mad about spending $900, and then I get a new hub, and all of a sudden I can do things I've never been able to do on the bike, like go through the rocks and not even have to pedal because I can just go click it, and just go back pedal a foot now, like an inch, and I have engagement. So weird things like that. You end up mad that you're going to spend $800, and then you do 30 miles in 2 days, and you wonder if it's because you got a new wheel, and the bike is actually running better, or maybe it's the trainer and the month you took off and on the Echo bike. Maybe not. I don't know, but I'm riding hard, man. I really putting in 2 days and loving it. So I know you're doing the same.
Oh yeah, I'm training hard. Matter of fact, I just got training before I finished training before I came over here. So we got together because I only have a couple more training sessions where I can spar, before I compete in the Pan American Championships. Because so today was like probably my last really good training here. Like I'm gonna teach class tomorrow, and I might get in some sparring rounds tomorrow. But Tuesday morning, my son and I we travel. We're jumping in the car, and we're gonna go down I-10 from here in San Antonio all the way to Jacksonville, Florida. And then my teacher in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Luis Pires, he has his own Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school in Jacksonville, Florida. So I hope to train at his school Wednesday night. And he's such an amazing, experienced jiu-jitsu practitioner that like every time I get with him, I learn something new.
Awesome.
Like there's a new aspect that I start to understand better than I did, previously. So anytime I get a chance to train with him, I go do that. So I plan on training with him Wednesday night, and then Thursday, I believe Dayton is competing, and he's my blue belt, competing in the middleweight bracket. And then Friday, Jonathan is competing. He's my brown belt, competing in the middleweight bracket. And then Sunday I'll compete, and then in between time I'll cheer people on and see how it all goes. But super excited because one, it's a tournament that I didn't think was going to happen this year. Two, or maybe it's even one. I'll put a 2 in this list, but 2, it's on my bucket list of things that I hope to one day win. So every year I go to the Pan American Championships, and I go to the Master, I think I got the shirt from 2008, Master World Jiu-Jitsu Championship. And that's in Vegas, usually in August, and then the Pan American Championships is in Irvine, California, usually in March. So every year I go, and it's an amazing event, and literally the best jiu-jitsu practitioners in the world.
That's so cool.
They come to compete, and everybody's coming to win. Like this, they're coming, they're training hard, and
do you get nervous like a week out? I mean, are you nervous? I mean, I'm nervous thinking about it for you. I get nervous thinking about it.
It's like a good nerves, but like for me, because I've competed so much, it's not like
sort of common,
a
not
butterfly.
Common. Yeah.
But it's like, I want to perform well, but like the reality of these tournaments is like 50% of everybody that goes is going to lose their first match. It's just simple math. Like, and you're going to have people flying in from Japan, Europe, Africa, South America.
And everybody's on the game.
Right. And they're all training hard. They're all really good competitors. And they're all there to give it their best. Like last year in the Worlds, my first opponent flew in from Brazil. My second opponent flew in from Australia.
Wow.
My third opponent, he didn't have to travel too far. I guess he flew from Minnesota to Las Vegas. Everybody else, it's like, they flew across the continents and oceans.
It's almost like you're lucky to be in America. The jiu-jitsu scene is so strong that you're in the hotbed of it, where you can attend both these tournaments, and it's on your, like, this is something you do every year, 2 tournaments. So the COVID kind of screwed things up, but not really on this one. So it got back online, and this is what's crazy is how it, like, you're telling me the story about. I go to this every year, and I remember in class, you're telling us about a guy that ducked out of a choke by taking his head and putting it in between your arm.
Yeah.
And it was such a basic move, so easy, but it was a nuance that some dude hadn't known through time that you didn't know.
Yeah.
And he was able to duck his head, and you showed everyone how to do this.
Sure.
And the lesson in class was, and this is how I lost.
Right.
Because it went this quick. I had to choke. It was going super sick.
Yeah.
It was dialed in until he did this.
Right.
And that was a new thing I hadn't dealt with before, and I'm teaching you now.
Right.
So it's weird. These lessons, like, you know, I watch people talk about jiu-jitsu online, like, and they refer to a teacher. Any school a teacher has to be based in some type of tournaments. A jiu-jitsu teacher has to roll in some type of tournaments and know what's going on to be legit, or else I wouldn't go. Right. So this is the discussion, right? And then, but you don't ever talk about this, right. And we're friends. But we don't. You're not saying this is what I'm doing, like on my side. But this is what you're doing all the time. This is you, right? So, but that's how it is. It's not a big deal. It's coming up no matter what. So you come in, you get the lessons taught one year, and then maybe you teach the lesson next year, or maybe you don't. Right. Like you said, it's a 50-50 thing. Right. Everybody's trying. People are flying in from all around the world. It's a huge deal. Yeah. You're taking your son with you.
I've gone to these tournaments where, like, you know, I've flown great distance and lost my very first match. And it's like, and it's one and done. It's a single elimination tournament. It's not like, oh, you lose, you get, you know, best 2 out of 3. It's like, no, you lost. Hey, man, thanks for coming. You know, but you're done. So that really, you know, it makes you like zero in. It's like, man, you know, like I got to be on my game. But everybody I'm going against they're saying the same thing. They're training hard. They're really talented. And then I get a chance to go up against some legends. So like last year in the Pan American Championships, I finished with a bronze medal in my division. And so I'm hoping this year, you know, to leave with gold. But there's always the realm of possibility I go in there and lose my first match and leave with nothing, you know. Yeah. And that's what gets the adrenaline rush. It's like, oh, you know, so it's like, yeah. And, you know, it's competition in sports is really the same as, you know, learning something in school. You know, like there's an old saying in sports is the will to win is important, but the will to prepare is vital. You know, like if you're teaching algebra, and I got an algebra test to take this semester, I can show up on test day with the will to ace that exam all I want. But if I didn't prepare for that test, you know, I can want to ace it all out. You know, like I can try really hard on that day, but it's like, man, the ship has sailed. You know, like you have to prepare, you know, for that test, and then, you know, maybe you ace it. So I've prepared hard for this test. I'm in really
not
good
just
shape.
prep either, because you got experience too.
Right. But my opponents are going to have experience because they're going to be black belts too. So it's not like they're going to give me a freebie, inexperienced guy. It's like, no, whoever I face is going to be another black belt. He's probably also a school owner. Sometimes they're like legends that have won multiple championships. Like the guy that beat me in Pan Am's last year. He won gold in Pan Am's, but like he is a guy that I, you know, had been aware of for years. Super talented guy, and you know, like it was really an honor just to go out there and compete against him.
Sure.
You know, I mean, I wanted to win, gave him my best, didn't work out, but you know, and then he ended up winning the whole tournament. But the thing was like to step out there with somebody that's really on their game. It's just so like you was describing the bike rides, like those guys were doing jumps that you can't do right now, but you can still look and admire and be like, man, I admire that skill level because it was so amazing.
Sure.
You know, like in my head, I can't fathom a 20-foot jump on a bike. Like what?
20.
Yeah.
20 foot.
Yeah. That's
from the bottom to they launch it at 20, and then they go 20 feet in the air.
Right.
And then they land it. Yeah. And it's like it's normal. And that's not normal.
Yeah. No. That's amazing skill.
No.
And then like the other good thing about like this tournament is you know, you and I have been talking about, because we have two totally different type of diets. Like you're doing more of a paleo, intermittent fasting type diet, where I'm doing a pescatarian diet, which is basically a vegetarian diet, but I eat seafood, you know. And I did that just on a cholesterol issue, not to lose weight, but I've been doing that for I think over 4 years now. And but maybe a month and a half ago, I decided I was going to cut out desserts, because I always try to sacrifice something. You know, like especially when I'm getting ready for a tournament, it's like, what can I sacrifice? So
you're putting some skin in it.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna cut out desserts. And so my wife, she'd been joking on me for years. She's like, as much candy, sugar, chocolate, ice cream, pecan pie, you name it, like, as much as you eat, you should have diabetes. Like,
that's amazing.
And I'm like, yeah, but I don't, and you know my blood sugar levels are great.
Yeah, I'm good and checked. I'm good.
So, give me another spoonful of or another scoop of that ice cream, or another slice of that pie, or
the Reese's. You told me
Reese's
today.
peanut butter. Oh my gosh!
Saad doesn't like the small one either.
No, I get the big one.
He liked the big every day.
Right? Yeah, every day.
This amazed me. You just told me this earlier. I go, what?
Yeah. So I would eat this like every day, and like I'm at least doing one candy bar a day, and one bowl of ice cream a day, and you know.
That's amazing.
Maybe some other stuff.
So you got a legit sweet tooth.
Right. Yeah. Oh man, crazy man. So or like I'd stop at Buc-ee's, which is like
the biggest goddamn gas station in the planet.
It's an icon of Texas.
There's 100 ice machines. 100.
Yeah. And you get like they have this large selection of fudge, and I get a box of fudge with like these large pieces. You know,
dude, they do have the whole fudge counter, don't they?
Yeah, and like other people would be like, yeah, I cut that square piece and then, you know, eat slivers of it. It's like, no, I eat the whole square piece. And I kill it. Like, oh man.
You know what's crazy is I don't even recognize Buc-ee's as that because I know about their jerky.
Sure.
Because I can't eat the bullshit.
Right.
So when I go there, I find
the jerky,
and the chicken wings,
right,
and the fucking sausages, and all the other meats. Because you can go in there and have a plate of awesome food for $7. Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
And awesome.
It is a gas station stop that you will make on a road trip to some destination that will take 30 minutes and you'll spend like $100. You know, it's
dude,
like, oh my god.
The Buc-ee's I think they start advertising like 400 yards away, like 300 miles away. Like a tank away, and then they go and they say we're gonna be here and here, and then everyone. And I go, what is this place they're talking about? Right. When we're in Texas, I see all the signs. And I go, Beth, what is this Buc-ee's? She goes, oh, just wait. And I go, what do you mean, just wait? She goes, I go, what's like a racetrack? She goes, no, it's like 15 racetracks. Yeah. I'm like, what? Right. She's like, it's maybe like 20 gas stations, what you're used to. It's like 20. Then I'm thinking it's an exaggeration. It's gonna be a bunch of pumps. Mm-hmm. I saw 100 ice machines. I was like. Oh, right. There's ice machines. The whole it's ice machines for quarter mile. Right. It's a quarter mile of gas pumps and ice machines. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is the biggest place ever. It's like walking into Walmart.
Yeah, it's amazing. So when I gave up, I decided, okay, I'm gonna just go cold turkey on all desserts and stuff, all these sweets.
Did you kill anyone?
No. But the first week or two was really hard because I started having like serious sugar withdrawals. Like I'm looking at stuff because my body is used to eating, that chocolate bar every day. It's used to having ice cream before I go to bed. These things that it was all used to.
That's real serious too.
So I just went cold turkey, and after the first 2 weeks it was easy. But what I didn't anticipate in doing this, because it's just like any problem you have, you don't think it's that bad until you realize, holy crap, it is really this bad. And so I stopped. And then a month later, like, literally I've lost like 15 pounds in like maybe a little over a month, but not much more than a month. And I was already in shape. Like I was already, it's not like if you're 400 pounds and you lose 15 pounds, it's like, that's different. When you're 205 and you drop down to 190 in a month, and you live in a gym, you own a gym, you're there every day, you're already eating pretty much healthy. That was like, I've never lost 15 pounds in a month. And maybe it's a month and a half, but I never lost 15 pounds in 2 months. Like
it's so weird too, because you're talking about something that I have lived for like 8 years if you count the alcohol. Right. So then if you look at it like a sugar thing, alcohol is sugar, sugar is alcohol, sugar is bad. So okay, so then you cut it out, and I can lose 300 pounds cutting out sugar, and I can have all these people asking me what I do, and I go, okay, so here's the whole secret. Right. Here's the secret. Mm-hmm. Cut out all sugar. Yeah. And eat for an hour a day. Right. And they go, what? Yeah. And huh? Right. And it just breaks every faux pas that you have. Everything, your whole normal psyche, they look at me like I'm insane. Right. Like I'm crazy for doing this. But I was 600.
Yeah.
No one told me I was insane then.
Right.
But at 290, well, 278 the other day, you go eat sugar for a weekend, and then you go to 305. Right. And now I'm at 290 now. Nice. Because I had my weekend off, right? So I'm coming back down. So at 290, I'm getting not a hard time, but people look at me like I'm crazy because I say I eat 6 eggs a day and a pound and a half of meat. They go, what? Huh? Right. And I go, then I'm done. Right. What do you mean you're done? I go, well, yeah, like, okay. So sometimes, like, later I'll have, like, 2-3 spoons of peanut butter, like, an hour later. Then I'm really done. Right. They go, what? You did 23 hours a day you don't eat? And I go, yeah. I think food is absolutely overrated. Right. I think we eat way too much of it. I think our bodies are polluted with food. Right. Polluted. Right. I think the less food I have,
the better you do.
The better I'm doing.
Because I think a lot of times we don't eat because we're hungry or that we need food. We eat because we're bored. And it's like, oh, it just...
Or it's an emotional reaction.
Sure.
Like, either like, okay, like, I killed it today, let's have a drink.
Right, yeah.
Or I trained really hard, I earned this pizza. Right. Or whatever. Yeah. But what it comes down to is if... And here's what I'm trying to get to with it. You found out it was a poison a weird way. Sure. By giving up something for, like, a tournament. Right. So you didn't know you were going after this discovery. So if you look at it, like I look at it, and here's how I tell people who want to lose weight, because I have a lot of people that have lost weight. There's at least 5 people that have dropped like 80 pounds. There's 3 of them that have come back from diabetes and are off meds and everything, just from watching me. Right. And they call them, what'd you do? And then they do their version of it. And I go, I change my shit all the time too, by the way. Yeah. This isn't the way. Right. The way is loving you. You just got to find your way of doing that. So when I say that we can eat for 1 hour a day, as long as you put in enough calories, that your average person has enough weight on them enough fat to regulate that, no problem. Yeah. And I thrive that way, energy-wise. Have you ever seen someone my size do 30 miles on the bike in 2 days?
And you're doing a lot of exercise.
And I'm working out hours.
And you know, I borrowed part of your fasting because, like, lately, another thing I've been doing to try to get ready for the tournament that I borrowed from you is I don't do intermittent fasting within an hour. But what I have been experimenting with was that I don't like to eat the morning of my match. Like when I go to compete, I don't like to eat. So I've been training to where, like, say today, we did a 2 o'clock sparring session that lasted till probably 5. So it's a 2 or 3 hour sparring session we did. And it's just you're sparring with like all these really tough individuals, really working hard. I don't even know how many calories you lose, but it's a ton. But so I didn't eat today, and this is what I've been doing every day for a good at least a month. Was get my body ready because I want to compete on Sunday without eating breakfast or lunch. I just want to go out there, whatever time the match is, and compete. So every day, I'm either teaching my 11:30 class and then sparring. And so I'm not eating until 1 or 2. And then today, I didn't eat anything until 4 or 5. Well, 5 or 6. Then I got to eat something. But, of course, that narrowed my window of, okay, how long I have to eat. And so that has contributed. You know, so it's not, it wasn't a concept so much of intermittent fasting for me for, like, a weight loss, but just my comp prep. It was like, I would because you don't want to not eat the day you compete because now you're missing energy that your body is used to having. Yeah. But if you train without that energy and you're used to it, then it's like, okay, your body already knows, so it's not a shock.
It's so weird. It's like every day it's so weird that you've been able to get these results this fast. Right. Because it takes some people like years to tune a diet and do that. Most people don't just say, fuck it, I'm going to do this and cut out all the sugar and but you didn't cut out bread, you didn't cut out pasta, you cut out literally candy. Right. And you've started intermittent fasting a little bit. Right. And these 2 little changes, because you're in tune, has gotten you way more in tune. And every time I see you, I've been telling you, I go, dude, you look crazy. Right. You don't just look like you lost weight. You look better. Right. You look. And listen, I haven't done shit. I haven't lifted since the 90s. Right. And I'm running on. Dude, I did 30 miles last 2 days. I'm 290 pounds. I'm an old man. I'm coming from 600. Right. I feel fucking fantastic. Right. So these things, whatever it is working, put it with the workout. You get inspired to do better. We're both inspired to eat better because we're active. Right. I want to do more on the bike. I want to be 230. Man, I feel it. I want it. I want it. Right. You know what I mean? So I want to feel what that feels like. I want to feel fast. I want to limber. I lost my balance today coming up the hill. Lost my shit, went sideways and tapped the hill behind me with my right foot behind my leg, caught my balance again and kept walking today. Nice. I was like, what the fuck did I just do? Right, yeah. Like, what was that? Yeah. Like some twisty shit, like crazy fucking dance move. Right. But I could do it. Right. So I'm so fucking mad sometimes when I think God damn it, I get mad at myself sometimes. Because I waited so long. It's such a fucking mistake. Right. It's such a mistake to think things are static. They're so not. Yeah. Every time something bad happens, you got to change anyways. You might as well go embrace the goddamn change before and then reap the goddamn rewards.
But you know, it goes to another, common old saying, which is like, people don't change until the pain of remaining the same is greater than the pain of the change. Because every change is painful. So, I changed. I went to a pescatarian diet, not because I wanted to lose weight, but because my cholesterol was high and I didn't want to go on cholesterol medication. You came off alcohol, not because you didn't enjoy the taste of alcohol, but because it was going to kill you. Yeah. So had you stayed the same, you was going to die. So then, then it makes the change easier. It's like, oh, the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of the change. Because that's why change is so hard. It's because it's uncomfortable. It's painful, and all of it is just like anything that you want that's going to be great in life. Hard work and sacrifice. That's going to be 90% of your issue. Just hard work and sacrifice. Just do it, and suck it up.
But and don't bitch, right? Like I can complain about being heavy. I can complain about having to, have a special, man, let's talk about being a fat ass. Like, you don't know nothing about this. I used to have a foot of room on the right-hand side of the toilet so I could wipe my ass. Yeah. So I can cock my leg out and get enough room to do it. So, you test every single chair you ever sit in. Sure. You can't buy a car. Right. You can't buy any car. There's no fucking car at 5'50", 6'4", that you're getting in except Grand Marquis or Crown Vics. That's it. Wow. So two sedans, that'll do it. Maybe Continental Lincolns and shit, maybe. Right. But there ain't no Cadillac made full size no more. Right. Nothing. Yeah. No cars. Right. So now you're relegated to trucks. Right. It's a fucking crazy existence, and you get used to it. Right. You get used to people being slow for you. Hey, you're being a dick. You're walking fast. What? Right. How am I the dick? Right. You're the fucking fat ass that's 600 pounds, dude. Right. Like, not that I see that. I see that now. Right. Yeah. I don't see no fucking excuses now with people, man. I see a fat person, and I go, God damn it, dude. Fuck. Right. Like, I just want to go over and hug him and be like, listen, man, I'm going to hug you every day, then you're going to hug you. And that's how it's going to work. Right. I'm going to hug you, you're going to hug you. Right. Watch what I do. Fucking pay attention to me on Facebook. Pay attention to me on Instagram. I'm posting good shit. Yeah. I'm only posting positive shit for the most part. I'm posting about me killing it, me riding, killing it, hanging out with people, killing it. That's what I'm about. So that's all I fucking expect from people. And then when I see something else, I'm like, fuck. I'm disappointed in them. I'm judging. Like Beth is on me about it. She said, you can't say that about people. I go, why the fuck not? I go, it's true. I don't have no patience for it.
What people don't understand is, you gotta have an active lifestyle. You gotta get exercise, but you can't out-exercise a bad diet. Exercise is one step forward, and a bad diet is 2 steps back. You've got to get both. You've got to find a diet, and whether it's a pescatarian diet, whether it's a paleo diet, you know, whether it's intermittent fasting, you've got to find a healthy diet for you. And then you got to find something
sustainable.
Right, yeah.
Long term. It's not a diet. It's a way of eating.
Right.
It's really forever.
Yeah, because like pescatarian is not a diet as far as like a fad diet. It's something that like I plan on doing for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it's a way of eating.
You know, like,
yep. It's just a
because
different word.
when I see steak now, that's no longer appetizing to me. You know, chicken, you know, these things. But the cool thing is now I don't know if I'll ever go back to desserts because like over at my house Saturday night we had some friends over and one of my friends Cameron, he made these chocolate chip cookies and he's an amazing cook. So any single ladies out there watching, you know, Cameron is a heck of a catch because not only is he a hard worker and a good guy with a good heart, he's an amazing cook. So if you're single,
Cameron's the man.
Cameron's the man. So Cameron, he comes over to the house. He's like, Saad, you know you want one of these chocolate chip cookies. Come on.
That's the devil right there,
Just
Saad.
try one.
Cameron
Go
the
ahead,
devil.
Saad. You can do it. And I'm like, Cameron, I love you. But you know.
Go away, Cameron.
Yeah.
Go away.
You can't lead me down this temptation.
No.
But, you know, the first week I was coming off of it. You know, I'd have been more tempted to be mad about it. Been like, hey, man, you know I'm trying to do this. You know, like, don't throw me off.
No,
you know,
and it's
right.
and dead serious.
Sure.
Yeah.
But, you know, at this stage, it's like, it doesn't faze me at all. It's like, no, you couldn't trick me into eating a chocolate chip cookie.
But it really is like
ice
that,
cream.
though. It really is a conscious decision because you have to decide if you're going to put in poison.
Yeah.
And once you realize it's poison, it's harder to eat.
Yeah.
So Cameron's selling you the poison, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's going, here it is. But Cameron doesn't know what you know.
Right.
If he knew what you knew, he would be doing it his way, right?
Right.
It would be a different story.
Yeah.
He would be like, okay, so that's like the same thing when I go into work, right? I'm a teacher, so every Friday there's donuts somewhere.
Right.
You're gonna be able to walk into a Danish somewhere, coffee cake, Danish box of. I mean, parents are bringing it. I mean,
sure,
dude, it's there.
Oh yeah.
It does not matter. Here's what's weird about the 23 hours off and the no sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Once you relegate to the fact that you're only eating once, you have so much time.
Right.
Your breakfast and lunch just opened up. Now at work, when I'm having lunchtime, I'm reading a book, I'm sitting there in the dark, I'm chilling, I'm listening to music, I'm doing nothing. I'm avoiding people, I'm avoiding kids, I'm gone. Lunchtime, I'm a figure. There's no more teacher lounges. I'm not hanging out with nobody.
Right.
You know, I can do whatever I want for lunch, for breakfast. All that time's mine now. Yeah. So that's 2 hours a day. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not cooking. Sometimes I cook on Sunday, and I make all the meat for the week. And then I just come in and I make like 5 eggs a day and then heat the meat up. Boom, I eat in 15 minutes, it's over. If I really get it down to where I'm not having the peanut butter, because peanut butter is carbs. I know people are going to say, he's eating carbs.
Right.
It's a select few.
Right, yeah.
Like I'm pounding the bike out for 20 miles.
Right.
I don't want to get caught the next day hungry on that bike ride, so I have 2 wallops of peanut butter for my second meal in that hour. So I'll eat a huge big meal, and then I'll have 2 wallops of peanut butter or something at the end, or a big hunk of cheese, something. You know, like more food, because you can only eat so much in the first meal.
Right.
And you ain't eating no more. After this hour, it's over. So 23 hours off. And sometimes, man, me and Beth will get busy, right? So my food window will be to eat at 7. Right. 7 to 8, because then I want 3 hours off before I sleep, right? Go to sleep at 11, so eat at 8, 3 hours off, digest before I want to go to bed. I want my mind and my body to be totally calmed down, metabolism-wise, as calm as it can be. So 3 hours after I eat, I want to sleep. All the rules I hear from people, I'm not saying they're right, but this is what I'm doing.
Yeah, you experiment, see what works for you.
So if I know I'm eating at 7, for instance, like on a Friday night, or I normally would eat at 7, and I come home and me and Beth start talking or something, and we get caught up, and the next thing I know, we get to the restaurant at like 8. We're not eating till 9:30. Right. Sometimes. Yeah. And it'll be like 29 hours since I ate. And I'll be like, oh.
Right.
Because we got busy.
Sure.
I forgot I was going to be hungry and missed my own fast by 4 hours. So I go 20, instead of 23, I go 27. Right. Which is fucked up, because if I could be busy every day maybe and forget to eat. Right. Yeah. You see what I'm trying to say? I'm never that busy. Right. because I planned the one meal. But I think if you got crazy enough, if you were really going crazy, and you had to, like 300,000 years ago when you were chasing down a fucking saber-toothed tiger or something, you weren't eating every day, maybe.
No.
That's my point. I think we're designed to run really efficiently. I think these guys in Africa have it made.
Right.
I think they really kind of know what the real diet is. When I talk to my buddy in Africa, he laughs at our diet. He's like, man, everybody I know is stronger than you guys. There's nobody I know that won't outwork everybody. So that we can't even hang in his mind. He laughs at us. He sees us working. And he's like, that's my job. Right. You know, he's building the brick by hand, right? He's like, that's not work. Yeah. So I'm talking about being tired inside of a school, monitoring lunch duty, standing up on my feet for 8 hours. You know what I mean? It's like, oh wow, nice, pussy. You know? Yeah. but dude, it's the sugar is a real deal addiction. If I've ever seen something that everybody's addicted to. Right. If we were really talking about something for real, if you're eating bread and potatoes and pasta, in my opinion, pasta and rice and candy and anything that turns to sugar, it's an extreme addiction. In fact, we know on the groups that I'm in, if you're bringing somebody over to keto or carnivore diet, that when you first bring them over, the best way to get rid of the headaches, because you're gonna get headaches. You're gonna come off like heroin. Right. You're gonna have. I had headaches for 4 days, every hour on the hour, for about 15 seconds. It felt like it was right here. It was the side of my head, and it was like a 15-second headache, and it would go away. And then the next hour it would come on for 4 days. And then I remember being in class one day, and I go, "Oh shit, I'm on the second hour. I didn't have a headache."
Nice.
And it passed. So for 4 days I had headaches. And now when I bring people over to this, I tell them to drink pickle juice. And you wonder why, and it's because there's so much salt in it. There's so much, whatever's in pickle juice, whatever that is, can bring you over without getting headaches. So I brought one person over now onto the diet, total change from being normal eater to off of all sugar. And they did that with the pickle juice and had no headaches. And they're down 40 pounds. And it's been a month and a half. Or 35, I think now. So they're almost to 40. Been a month and a half. So that's just it, just like you. Right. Month and a half, 2 months, but twice the weight, but to cut out all carbs. And some intermittent fasting, I would say, not as much as me. Right. Very few people do 23 and 1.
Right. Yeah. I imagine that's a challenge, but it's like anything. Like humans can do amazing stuff. Like, you'd be surprised what you can do when you set your mind to something and you're willing to endure, the discomfort and just to meet, your objective. And like humans can do amazing stuff. Like, and I think sometimes, in our society we underestimate what we can really do, and we like, oh, I'd like to lose this weight, or oh, I would like to be healthy, and the but is when the truth is going to come out. Everything they set up to but is like, you can disregard that because, no, you really don't want to lose weight. No, you really don't want to be healthy. No, you really don't want to get financial freedom. Whatever that but was. Now you're getting ready to find out this is what the person really is going to do, which is they're either going to stay unhealthy, they're going to stay overweight, they're going to stay in credit debt. Like I had people try to tell me, who watched our last podcast, they're like, yeah, you said credit's bad, but it's like, dude, this is how bad credit is. And this is my best analogy. Because I always meet somebody who thinks like, man, I can beat the credit scheme.
With the game.
It's the exact same game as gambling casinos. Like when you walk into the gambling casino, say you go to Las Vegas, you go into, whether it's Harrah's or Caesar's Palace, wherever, and you see the crystal chandeliers and you see the just beautiful architecture, the water fountains spewing, just amazing architecture and beauty and elegance. They didn't get that way because guys like me go to Vegas and rock the house and leave with their money. That's not how it works. When you walk into a Bank of America, let's say they're your credit card guy. You walk in there and you see all those guys with suits and you see the nice furniture and the nice paintings. They're not that doesn't happen because
it's not
I'm
working.
beating them at the credit game.
Right.
The reality is they're killing me at the credit game. You know, and if you look at your credit and what you're paying in interest and a true accounting of what you're paying, you're not beating them. They're beating you. Now, every once in a while, sure, maybe there's somebody out there that's, you know, able to, you know, outwit them. But overall, if you have a credit card, you're running up debt. Yeah. They are whooping you, and you know they even had to pass into legislation that, you know, you forcing the credit companies to show that if you just make the minimum payment every month, this is how long it will take you to finally pay off your debt, and how much you will have paid at the end of that. You know, like, they had to legislate that because they realized that the average consumer was just either too ignorant or too lazy to do the work to figure out, like,
well,
no,
they want to be able to, they want to know that if they're gonna, like, the government wants to say, if you're gonna charge someone 24% interest, at least let them know where this goes.
Sure.
Because if you go 24 point, or if you go 25, that's usury.
Yeah.
So you can't do 20 over 25. But
depending on the state.
But
sure.
If you go to 24, you have to let them know. So if you're gonna take all this money, let's at least try to do it semi-fairly.
Right.
The issue is, man, is everyone wants that shit now, and no one wants to wait later. It's the same thing with being, like, you found this sugar and the intermittent fasting thing a weird way, right? Sure. But some people actually, but you also didn't know you were overweight by 20 pounds. Yeah. The hard way. Right. You knew you had sugar every day. You knew it was out of balance in a way, but it was also your fun time because you were in balance. Yeah. So this is like my reward for being in balance.
And I'm still competing as an athlete at a high level, so it's not like...
But you didn't know you could be trimmed up and way better. And you are. Sure. You look fucking phenomenal.
Thanks, brother.
So this is okay, so what I'm saying is you were sort of settled. You were sort of okay.
Oh, yeah.
So even if people... What I'm trying to say is this. Even if people don't know they need change, look for different shit in your life. Right. Do something a little differently. There's different perspectives to get you other ways. You might not even know you're stuck. And you... Like, go to counseling if you have any idea in your mind that you need counseling. Right. Even if you don't think about counseling, maybe you should go talk to somebody. Maybe you should go take an art class just to see if maybe you want to be an artist. Yeah. But put the exploration out there. Put your balls out there and say, I need to do something different. Right. I need to change my diet up because I've been doing the same thing forever. Or I don't feel as strong as I want to be. Or I saw this guy do that, and why can't I do that? Right. That's all I see is I want to do what I see other people doing. So then I want to do what I can do better. Right? So I just want to ride the rocks better, cleaner, not die, not fall off the bike. You know what I mean?
Yeah, leave your comfort zone and go into... Like, you don't have to go into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You don't have to go into cycling, you know, or mountain biking like Stomp is. But, like, find a hobby that can, like, you know, enrich you, that you can, you know, it could be basketball, it could be baseball, it could be tennis.
Reading,
it could be
something
golf. Like,
different.
And, you know, like, art is wonderful. You know, learn to play the guitar. You know, like, find some other stuff to do, you know, with your free time, besides watch the TV. Get away from the TV and get away from the video games, because the time that you're investing in that, you're not getting much benefit, you know. But the time you invest in learning how to play a guitar or how to, you know,
it connects.
Yeah, you know, like you can enrich your life and spend your time better. You know, like this tournament, you know, one of the last things I want to say about the Pan American Championships, like all the wins that are happening for me, that have nothing to do with whether I actually win the tournament or not. One, I've lost weight. You know, I'm in better shape than I was when I signed up for the tournament. So that's a win. I'm healthier because I cut out the sugar and I cut out the desserts and the bad stuff. So I'm healthier than I was going to be without the tournament. Win or lose, I won there. I'm healthier. You know, so anything that makes me healthier is a win. And then the biggest win for me, and I haven't really talked about it, me and Stomp have talked about it offline, is my son, who's 27, I've talked about him before on the podcast, he's a San Antonio police officer. He is taking the week off of work, and so Tuesday morning, we're getting in the car, here in San Antonio, and we're driving to Jacksonville, Florida. We'll probably spend the night in, you know, at a hotel in either Louisiana or Alabama or Mississippi, somewhere along the way, because it's like a 16-hour drive. And when I was younger, I'd just drive straight through. Now that I'm 52, I don't make drives like that no more. I'm gonna drive 8 hours today, then 8 hours the next day. It's gonna be I'm much more interested in comfort and ease. So we're gonna go together, and you know, so that's time that I'm gonna spend with my son that I can't put a price tag on it, because like, you know, now that, you know, he's 27, you know, he has his own career, he owns his own house, you know, he has his own life. Like, you know, when he was a child and a road trip came up, it's like, well, you have to go. You know, like, what other choice? Like,
right.
You live at my house, you know, I'm the boss. You know, now that he's an adult, he makes a choice on what time he wants to spend with his father. You know, it can be a lot of time, or it can be, you know, no time. Like, he can just be like, I never care to see my father again in the rest of my life. You know, and so the win for me is that my son wants to go with me. He's going to go with me to the Pan American Championships. We're going to do this road trip. We're going to stop and see some friends, because he lived in Florida for a while. You know, because before the Navy transferred me to Texas, we lived for 3 years in Florida. So he's got friends there, and he graduated from the University of Florida. So, you know, he has a lot of connections to Florida, but, you know, it's going to be a road trip. Me and him go in there. We're going to experience the event. We're going to eat places. We're going to see friends. We're going to do stuff. And we're going to talk about, who knows? You know, who knows what all we'll talk about. And, you know, like, and, you know, at 52, and I've said this in other videos, you know, I know at age 52, I've lived more years on earth than I have left to live. So I don't take it lightly, this unique opportunity to just hang out with my son, who I love with my heart and soul. You know, like, you know, like,
your family side is the most important thing to you, hands that period.
Because as a human, I can tell you, I never understood the concept of true unconditional love until I had my son. Like, you know, because people say, oh, you know, I love my wife unconditionally. No, the U.S. divorce rate shows that there's things your spouse can do that make you say, if I never see her again or see him again, you know, like that's not an unconditional love. You know, where my children, you know, my son, my daughter, you know, if I discovered tomorrow they were serial killers, I'd be like, okay, I agree with society that, you know, like, they shouldn't be free, but I don't want you to hurt them, and I'm gonna go visit them in prison. Like, you know, like, that's not. It's just, it's such a deep love. And, you know, I can't even explain it, and it's really a hard concept to understand until you have a child. And I always look sort of sideways at people who neglect their children, because I'm like, your child is a part of your soul. Like, how do you not love them? Yeah. So anytime I hear about somebody who doesn't take care of their kids or hurts their children, I'm like, what kind of human are you? Because if you're not capable of loving your child, you're truly not capable of loving anything. And that's the advice I gave to my son. And I'm like, if you're ever dating a lady who has a child and she neglects that child for you, get away from her. Yeah. Because there's no way she can ever in her heart love you more than she loves her child. And if she's willing to cast her child to the side for you, when times get hard, she'll cast you to the side for something else.
The father-son dynamic is so difficult too, because it's either good or bad. There's so few, like, like mine was sort of contentious, you know what I mean? And then like yours was sort of contentious. Right. But you would never do anything ever, like the first conversation I remember having with you where I was like, oh, this guy isn't necessarily a calm dude at all, was about your daughter getting in trouble in the principal's office. Yeah. And you were telling me about the other guy. And I was like, oh, okay, you're funny as shit. That's hilarious. Yeah. Right. So I was like, oh, okay. Right. So I was like, okay, so everyone talks about you in this way, right? So you think about it, and I call you as an instructor, and we're not even friends yet, and then you're telling me the story, and I'm like, well, dude, that's exactly, I probably would have fucking smacked the shit out of somebody too. So this is what happens when this happens, so this is normal. And the father-son dynamic is amazing, because it's all you ever want as a kid.
Right.
So if you don't have it, which I don't think we had what we wanted. So if we didn't have what we wanted, then all you want to do is when you see people that don't do it right, man, like it really bothers you. Yeah. It's like it really bothers me because I don't have kids, right? Yeah. So I don't have a perspective, right. But I do have the perspective with dogs.
Sure.
So it really bothers me when I see somebody that doesn't understand what they're doing with their dog at the dog park. Yeah. Like if they got a pit bull, right, and it's way too crazy for them, and I'll be like, okay, or they're trying to stop my dog, or they don't know what they're doing necessarily, and I go, well, hold on, they're doing this on purpose. Right. They're gonna play grab ass until they figure it out, right, and then they're gonna get along. You can't stop the dogs from playing. Right. That's normal. Yeah. Like, okay, so I don't like people like abusing dogs. Like I didn't want to say that, but man, I'll get on someone's ass quick. Any dog thing, any kid thing, I see quick. I think we're overprotective of it though, because that's what we. And I think it all comes down to like one of the same things. It's so careful, like the cats in the cradle scenario. You're so careful not to have. Right. Yeah. And you know that this time could be maybe the last time. Maybe he did. Maybe he does have 3 kids next year. You never know. It does work out that way sometimes. My buddy John had 3 kids in a year. So you know, and it might be different when you can't come. So you know this is a special time. Yeah. You know, you could have COVID next year and you're not doing a tournament again or fucking something.
Or I mean, like. He goes on shift.
He's a cop, yeah.
He goes on shift at 10 p.m. tonight. So, like, ironically, he stopped by the house, and I was supposed to be here at 7 to meet Stomp, but he stopped in at, like, at 6:30, 6:40. Like, of course, you know, he's my son. He doesn't have to call and say, hey, I'm stopping by the house. He just stops by. And, of course, I'm going to make time for him because I know he's going on shift, and it's like the words and the moment I spent with him, you know, conceivably he could die this evening. So I cherish every single second.
Yeah, this is an unwritten rule of Sun. Yeah, this is like this. The sun trumps everything. Like it trumps our time going shooting, and I understand it, man. Yeah. You're not gonna have nobody that understands that more than me. So this is part of you, like the tournament, and you're saying that's the biggest part for you. And I want to tell you this: the whole school has come around this tournament. Right. You have people coming in every day at 6 in the morning, training extra classes. Sure. You have 5 or 6 adults coming in. They're killing themselves. Right. They're watching you kill yourself. Right. Everyone's killing themselves to do the same thing. Right. And then you guys get days like guys like Dayton that are training and doing this like 6, 7, 8 times a year. Right. So they're taking it. This is his life. This is when he's not working. This is his life. Mm. So he is BJJ and working to do that, and then his family, right, and even in the middle of his crisis, it's the jiu-jitsu is the base, and you know what he's gone through this year. Sure. So this is not an easy thing, right? So the whole thing is cemented everybody. Mm-hmm. It's like one little tournament out of the blue, got everyone's ass in gear quick, and it's cool for me to see it from the side. I don't duck out of those conversations, even though I haven't been to class in months, and I still post my pictures sometimes of me riding at 5 in the morning when you guys are talking about who's going. I'm like, oh, I already got in 5 miles. Right. You know what I mean? Sure. And I'm sure they go, well, fuck, Stomp's doing it. So, you know what I mean? And I'm not even part of it, really. So
and that's really like one of the things I love. It made my transition from being in the military for 33 years. Because you talk to anybody that retires from the military, and you say, oh, man, what do you miss? It's not the missions. It's not the chain of command. It's not any of that other frivolous crap. It's the camaraderie of the guys you go to war with, the guys that you suffer with, the guys that you endure these adventures with. That camaraderie is what we all miss. And for me, I was able to replicate that with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school and the community that we have. You know, so it's not, we are all doing this not as something negative. It's something positive. Like we're there to support each other. Yeah. We're there to make each other healthier, better fighters. Because like some of us are there, you know, they want to be better fighters, you know, to fight at a higher level in these competitions. But you know, like some of my students are there because they want to lose weight. Some of them are there because, you know, especially the kids, because they're being bullied in school. Some of them are there because, you know, like they're afraid of other adults in conflict, and so they want to learn how to defend themselves.
That's me.
And then some are there, like, you know, sometimes, you know, we get people who come in who are victims of rape, sexual assault, domestic violence, and they're there to learn how to like give themselves some peace by being able to defend themselves from that horrible thing ever happening again. And you know, so it's a community that we built around a positive outcome. And you know, like, so we're good for each other.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're good for me, and my goal is to be good for you.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
that our friendship is mutually beneficial. You know, because we're learning good life stuff from each other instead of like, we're not learning how to commit crimes and destroy our bodies. You know,
Sure.
we're learning how to like be better at what we do. And you know, so that's my relationship with Dayton and his relationship with me, or Jonathan. And then, you know, like when those guys sign up for these competitions, it's like, oh man, we're all gonna go on this, we're gonna go together. You know, it's not the same as me and my military unit going to Iraq, but it's a concept of like, we're going on this adventure together because we're trying to make each other better. We're just the best we can be, and then whatever the best we can be is, you know, on that competition day, we'll see if that best form of ourselves can win, and if not, we'll figure out what went wrong, and then we'll go back to the drawing board, and next year we'll come back with even a better version of ourselves to see
Sure.
what we can have.
Absolutely.
So I think, you know, like that's what's really been you know, like wonderful for my life in retirement, because I spend all this time with my family.
Yeah.
That my 33 years in the Navy kept me away from my family because I was always spending time doing whatever the latest mission was. You know, now my mission is every day I go to work with my family. That's my day. Every day I get to see my family, and that's the most important thing to me. And then people that I'm surrounded with, they're people that I genuinely love and care about. You know, my students, who are not just, you know, they're not students so much as like, this is my customer. It's like, no, these are my dear friends.
You don't understand.
Personally invested
like
in.
this is like a UFC every Saturday.
Yeah.
We're doing dinners all the time.
Sure.
I mean, even people that aren't training, we're
Right.
still. It's all encompassing. I mean,
Yeah.
some people are switching jobs. I mean, it's like I said. I was trying to tell you that one time. I go, you made a weird cult, man. It's like It's like the coolest cult ever. It's like,
Right.
People come to train like
Sure.
3 times a day. Sometimes
Right.
it's like the whole place is living out of
Right.
the gym. I mean,
Yeah.
some people come
Sure.
at, you know, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like, what the hell?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a social network that people fit into.
Yeah,
You know?
you do find home pretty quick in a
Right.
place like this. And I'm not saying it's just yours. I'm saying this might be any school.
Sure.
Yeah, this is a good school is going to promote this. They're going to promote, like, I remember when Tim got purple, right?
Yeah.
Tim got his purple.
Mhm.
I was amazed. Everybody I called Tim. I go, where are we going for wings?
Right.
I'm buying you some wings.
Yeah.
He's like, I think we're doing something at the volleyball place.
Right.
I'll let you know.
Cool.
And then he puts a message out to the group. And then I'm like, I'm in. I go, I'm in. We go to the wings thing. It's like 15 people playing volleyball.
Right.
So now it's like, okay, you just got done twisting each other's necks an hour ago.
Right.
Now everyone's drinking beer, playing volleyball for 4 hours. I'm sitting there hanging around going, these fucking people never leave. Like, what the hell's going on?
Because that's their friendship.
Yeah. It's way past the match.
Right.
It's way past the match.
Because when
And then people start showing up.
Tim, you know, the students as well as me, we all loved him. So,
Yeah.
you know, like, they were as happy for Tim getting that recognition as if they got it themselves, because they train with him every day. That, you know, they you know,
It's
like,
just a big deal.
Yeah, right.
It's
We're
a
all on this journey together.
Huge deal.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, man, where am I buying you? Because Tim's huge, man. Tim's like 230, 6'4", super
amazing athlete.
handsome dude
Sure.
that'll just rip you apart. And he does do that nicely.
Yeah,
like,
genuinely nicely.
Really nicely.
Sure.
Like, he yoked me around,
Yeah.
and then, breathe in your ear a little bit and tell you why he's doing it.
Yeah,
Like, hey,
sure.
if you keep leading with that arm, I'm going to keep grabbing it. So
Yeah.
stop leading that way. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what I'm supposed to do, right?
Right.
And I'm like, okay. So then,
Nice.
so I'm
Nice.
rolling with like this, he's like sort of like an Adonis. You look at him, and I'm like,
Sure.
oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, but then he's like, rip you apart, but he's super cool and training you the whole time. Everyone's always teaching you. Like, you're always putting me people that are teaching me. So that's the
culture
best,
we try to develop.
It's the best part, right? So it's to me, it was a really quick fit, and I thoroughly. It's been a huge part of my life, even though I can't do it, even in Texas. You know what I mean? Like, you're a big part of my enjoyment in Texas.
Right. Yeah.
It's weird. We've spent a lot of time having good, and they've had to switch. So sometimes we were shooting all the time, and now we're doing other things and hunting, and then we discover we don't. You make the pig argument, and all of a sudden I sour to it.
Right.
I'm like, well, damn, we're about to kill a 500-pound pig and do what with it?
Yeah. Right.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do with it?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna cut the head off this thing and put it on the wall like some great hunter or something.
Right.
I don't think even if I think that's a good idea, I probably shouldn't do that. I'm not really a hunter. Maybe we just walk.
Sure.
Maybe.
And we get good exercise when we went.
That's what I'm trying to say.
We didn't kill anything.
We could go do that still, and then go shoot at the end,
right? Yeah,
and still have the best time ever. And so it's a weird dynamic. I think I think it's an interesting conversation how you go from the sugar to the you discover a couple things about how you want to do something different. I think everyone needs to realize that change is not only happening. You might want to control it. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, maybe you want to put the brakes and the wheels going the direction you want it to.
Yes.
And you start proactively making decisions. Because I think I could have been riding. You know what? I was talking to my buddy Dave about this, or my buddy Alex. And Alex goes, Bob, you were the only guy with a mountain bike in '95.
Yeah.
I go, hold on. I go, you're right.
Yeah.
I remember I bought a Gary Fisher. I spent $700 on it in like '93, and my friends were like, "What are you doing?" And I was 500 pounds riding that bike out to the beach. I forgot all about it.
Right.
I was riding hard back then. I tacoed the front wheel, went over the bike, landed on my face, and got scared.
Sure.
And that's why I was so scared to buy a bike. Mm-hmm. Why I waited till I was 300 pounds, where you're in the limits.
Right.
Because you forget about the wreck. I mean, I fucking face planted in an alley. I used to ride everywhere.
Well, we've gone our hour, maybe some. So we can go ahead and close out.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
What's your any final?
Just understand change is happening. You might as well mitigate it. You might as well kind of control it a little bit. If you don't think there's an issue, there probably is something you can work on.
Right. And I think like if I think of anything, like a message that I would want to say to people, maybe a theme of this episode is like surround yourself with good people. Like my friendship with Stomp, although we're very different in many ways, we're very similar in many ways, but our friendship, we make each other better. Like we're helping each other, and we're learning from each other, and surround yourself with people that make you a better person. That improve you in some area. Because if you look around at your friends and they're not and I'm not talking about helping you like financially as if you're using people. I'm like, you're surrounding yourself with people that are just helping you on a fast track to destruction. You want to reevaluate your friendship.
Not bringing you up. Don't even worry about them.
Be around people that make you better. Make you my wife makes me a better man. Because she's a wonderful person and she does wonderful things, and I want to be a better person to live up to being her husband. Of such a wonderful human being. Be around people that make you want to be a better person, and that make you,
bring you up, man.
Yeah, be around positive people.
Yeah, especially as I get older, I can't. And as I learned this by not drinking. Sure. I couldn't be around people stressing me out, or my old friends, or my old drunk friends. Yeah. They had to go. Right. So once you start cutting the detritus out of your life, you're going to only allow people in that will bring you up.
Right.
So once you start realizing that you're holding yourself back by who you know,
sure.
The only people you're going to let in are bringing you up.
Right.
I don't even let people around no more that are causing me no problems at all. Like you don't get in. Right. There's no reason. I don't need you. But there's one person that gets a pass in my life. That's it, Beth. Right. And she gets a pass in anything. Right. If she comes in and says, we got to bury a body, we're burying the body. I don't give a fuck. Sure. I don't care who it is. Right. I don't care what happened. I'm not questioning anything. Right. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. It's my ride or die. So that's it. So over time, I've figured out she's really all I need. Sure. That's really it. That's my primary objective in the world is to make sure she's cool. And then everything else comes online because I'm only hanging out with people that are bringing me up. I'm only trying to bring them up. I'm not trying to get no bullshit from nobody or hear no fucking bullshit. And I'll just, it's just easier to do that for me over time. It's less stress to not hang out with people that are stressing me out. So, and those are our choices, right? Those are we choose everyone we get to hang out with. We don't have to hang out with nobody. So protect yourself by knowing your company. Who you hang out with is huge. And like you said, make sure people are bringing you up and love you, man. And don't expect everything to always be the same. It's not. It's changing. So stomp strong, people.
All right, we probably won't do next week's podcast because I will be in Florida.
Yeah. But next week we'll be off and we'll have tournament updates and hopefully he's. Do you get a big like WWF belt?
No.
Say I killed everybody.
Just the medal.
I'm gonna make you a big belt maybe if you win.
Give me one of the Ric Flair robes.
Yeah, I'd make it. Woo! Peace. Enjoy it.